girlies, welcome back. So we are, of course, we're gonna go with it. Of course, we are continuing our Child's Play Chucky franchise review in the 2013 release, straight-to-video release of Curse of Chucky. First one in the franchise to be released direct-to-video, so yes, kind of an accomplishment, depending on how you see it. I don't know, I'm just saying, nothing wrong with direct-to-video releases. Honestly, there are some gems out there, but let's go ahead and crack into this one. This one is starring Chantal Fiona Dorff, daughter of Brad, obviously, who is also returning in this franchise, in this installment, along with Jordan Gavaris, Jennifer Tilly, and Chris Sarandon. Chris Sarandon is kind of more of like the stock footage and stuff. Same thing with the guy who played Andy Barkley. I know he has some credit in here and everything, but hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about Curse of Chucky. So, Curse of Chucky, I literally just rewatched this maybe for the third time, probably more like the second time, since it's been released. And I think I've talked about this when it first came out. No, I don't think I did. I didn't have my YouTube channel yet, so I know for a fact I didn't talk about this one. I think it was called I Talked About. But let me just say real quick, because I know I've been kind of like really like these last few movies and everything, actually from Bride, you know, and kind of like including these. I was really not thrilled about revisiting these. Because I'll be honest, when I first watched this one, I was kind of, was not a fan, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that when I watched this, it had been a very long time since I watched any of the other Child's Play movies. Now that I've been kind of, you know, watching them somewhat consistently, I kind of like this one. Not over the top, over the moon for it, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the pace of the film. I know the pace of the film is a little bit slow, but I kind of like that because it was almost a little bit like the first one, where it's a little bit slower. I would have to say it's kind of like the first three, where it's like that sort of slow build-up. Unfortunately, with Bride and Seed, I feel like pace was amped up. Nothing really wrong with that, honestly, because when Bride and Seed came out, we were kind of a little fatigued with the slow burness. Whatever. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, this one was pretty decent to me. Basic story, it's almost like a reintroduction to Chucky, kind of getting him back to his roots a little bit, in the sense of kind of being scary, kind of getting some of that, you know, once again, the buildup of, like, the final scene and everything. And our protagonist in this one, because they actually, get this Chucky doll. It's sent to them, to Fiona Dorff's character and her mother. She lives with her mother because Fiona's character, Nika, is in a wheelchair, and her mom's house is, you know, this nice house. It's already kind of rigged up and everything for for accessibility and everything, to make life a little bit more manageable and everything. So it kind of makes sense why she still lives there. It's definitely not a character where I'm like, oh my god, you're still living at home. I understand why, and it makes more sense, because you know what? It's not cheap moving out on your own, and then also having to make sure that, like, you find a house that it's going to be easy for you to kind of get around, and if it doesn't, it's going to cost more money to install an elevator, to do this, you know, so whatever. This is one of the few characters where I'm like, you got to pass on living with your mom. I'm just saying. I know her sister, though, the biatch, I'm going to call her the biatch. I can't even remember her sister's name, but biatch is her name. So, the biatch, after their mother passes away, after what they think is an accident, we know it's fucking Chucky, because, you know, it's a fucking Child's Play movie, and this ain't her first go-round. Her biatch sister is over and trying to kind of like coax her into selling their mom's house so the biatch and her family can get the money, basically. And, you know, do whatever they please with it, and they're just gonna send Nika into an assisted living place or an institution. So there are people who can take care of her because the biatch does not want to have to be troubled in taking care of her sister. That's why you're biatch. I could see one of my sisters doing that, possibly both of them. I won't say which one, but yeah. I just want to say that I'm very thankful that I'm a very able-bodied person. I know that sounds wrong, but in my family, my ass would be in an institution because no one would want to take care of me. I'm just saying. Honestly, though, no, that's not my family. That is a lot to have to do and everything. Unfortunately, this family's a little too white. If they were a little more Hispanic, they'd be all over taking care of people. Just kind of people we are. I'm just saying, being Hispanic, taking people in. But anyway, so Biatch does not want to, be... And she fucking pays for it, man. Let me tell you, man. When that family... One of the few times, well, I shouldn't say the only time, because, the teacher and, the foster dad in part 2, when they died, I was so happy when they got it. But no, this is really the only other one in the series, Chucky series, where literally when everyone fucking dies, oh my god, I was so I know you're gonna get pinned for this, but you know what? Oh, god damn it. The biatch definitely deserves to fucking die, dude. I'm just saying, that whole fucking family. Oh, sorry for the swearing. The whole freaking family just, god. Worst family ever. One of the first families ever. I don't want to dare say the worst, because I'm sure there's worse horror families. I know there's worse horror families. So of course, obviously, as I just kind of basically told the rest of the story, everyone pretty much gets killed, kind of expected, which something that I do kind of like, that, with the exception of Nika, everyone dies. I like stuff like that, where it's not necessarily, the happy endings. We see her, and something that I do like, to see in this one is, you don't get to see the trial, but you get to see kind of, you see that they had a trial. She very much kind of, with Andy and his mother in the first couple movies, first one, I guess, specifically, where after the events, she gets locked up and everything, and he gets put in foster care. I like that and everything, because now we actually get to kind of see it, and literally how her reaction is, because how would you even react? How would the character even react? And we kind of see her, she's just very kind of I can't even, she's basically there just, just like a vegetable. But, no, she's still coherent, because when she's being rolled past the Chucky doll, she's like, I fucking know what happened. Just kind of laughing. So it's she almost is she's like, all right, dude, I'm already getting locked up. I'm gonna play it off a little crazy. I've already went through all this stuff. I am a little bit crazy. But yeah, no, this one definitely was, I enjoyed it a lot more than I did the first time. And I will say it, even with having, to rewatch Cult, which I've only watched that one once, and to actually have to, see for the first time the remake. I will say this, and I'm not even sure other people have said this, have felt this about this movie, but I'll say it. I feel like Curse of Chucky could have been done as sort of a remake / reboot, or at least sort of a soft reboot remake. You guys hear me on this? Because it does feel very cohesive, very, continuity's sake. I know with, reboots and stuff, you really are trying to, create something new with keeping the mythology and everything. And I feel like this one does keep that. It keeps a lot of, some of the mythos and everything, with adding some of it to it, with sort of, getting some of the ties to the first one. Was it executed perfectly? No. I won't give it that. I'm not going to say this is a flawless movie. It's by far from a flawless movie. But this one just, the story and everything, the characters, kind of the reintroduction to Chucky. This last Chucky movie we got was Seed back in 2004. So I mean, that was what, 9 years. So this one just did come at a time where, I don't even remember a lot of us even expecting, or at least for me, expecting another like Chucky movie or anything. I just kind of thought, okay, the series is dead. Like that is one of the series, and I've said kind of pretty openly throughout this franchise review that like I've never been like gung ho over the top, over the moon about Chucky and the series. Like nothing against it. I just never really had that as much of a connection to the series as I did, once again, like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, even something like Sleepaway Camp that I got into later in life. It was never my jam. Child's Play was never my jam, but this one did feel, like I said, I didn't expect another Chucky movie. I really didn't. After seeing it, I was kind of like, okay, good, just end it. But no, we got 3 new ones this past decade, I should say. But no, it's a decent one. Even when I was watching it, at a certain point, I kind of start looking at it of like, oh my god, it is almost like a soft remake / reboot. I kind of like to think of this one like that. I mean, I'm sure I've heard some mixed things about the remake, the newest remake, but I'll just say right now, probably didn't need the new remake. Should have made this the remake. I'm just saying. That's my 2 cents, though. I'm just saying. You get me. But yeah, that is Curse of Chucky, guys. I definitely, I'm a fan. So see, this goes to show a movie that I really did not like at all. Thought I would never watch this again. But yeah, it grew on me. You know what, Curse of Chucky? You're alright. Not quite sure how I'm gonna feel about your bastard brother cult. I don't know, I'm just saying. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening and tuning in. Until next time, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.